friends, students, and bears everywhere. Welcome to this edition of the Sound Bearier. That's right, Northeast State's official podcast. We're here today with our good friend Heath McMillian, Executive Director of Workforce Development here at Northeast State and a longtime ally of all things workforce and technical education in Northeast State. Heath, welcome. Glad to have you on the show. By the way, folks, I sometimes fail to do this. My name's Tom Wilson. I'm your host for this podcast. So, Heath, how you doing? How you feeling today? How things going?
I'm doing well, Tom. Thank you for having me. Things are going well.
How you been holding up here in the old era of COVID? What the rest of us are doing?
Fortunately, very well. Been very fortunate to have a great team at RCAM that have just proven how selfless they are during this time to provide everything that our industry partners needed. We've had some great industry partners, very innovative folks at RCAM to ensure that we could keep these labs going safely, because it's very important in the apprenticeship role that those could continue, of course.
Right. Now, I know you've been in technical education. You're a skilled welder, among other skilled trades out there. When did you kind of get your start, even as far back as a student in really skilled technologies?
Well, it goes back to the summer of '95. It was when I first came to Northeast State. I was a senior in high school. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to major in instrumentation engineering here at Northeast State, and ACT score wasn't that great, but started out in a developmental math class here in the summer of '95, actually before I graduated high school. Was here for 2.5 years, counting that summer, completed my associate's degree in instrumentation, then went into the workforce, worked on TVs and satellites for a while, then I was a copier repairman for several years in Tennessee and moved to North Carolina when I got married, and was a copier repairman for all Western North Carolina. Continued my education there at Montreat College, then got a job for a CD and DVD manufacturer, and after about 6 years in North Carolina, my wife decided she wanted to move home. And so that's when I applied at Eastman. And kind of a funny story, kind of a end around. I applied there and was hired as an electrician. And turned in my notice. I had a great job in North Carolina working for this CD and DVD manufacturer, and turned in my notice and went and did my physical at Eastman. About a week before I was supposed to leave, I got a call back from the HR manager. Said, we've got an issue, and I was like, uh-oh. he said, you're colorblind, and we can't hire you as an electrician.
Oh no.
But he said, we've got a new program here called a field mechanic program, and it's all welding. And I said, listen, I'm not going to lie to you, but I've never struck an arc before in my life. And he said, that's okay, we'll train you. And so I did it. 27 years old, started as a field mechanic, basically a pipe fitter and welder apprentice at Eastman at 27 years old. Worked my way through that. When I graduated from that program, that's when I came back to Northeast State as an adjunct faculty. That was about 2010. Worked my way through Eastman's management program. Then 2018, I had the opportunity to come to RCAM on the partnership between Eastman and RCAM. Then in 2019, as the grant was coming to an end, I was able to transition over to the college full time.
Right.
So
gotcha.
Kind of a long story there, but lots of history in Northeast State.
No, a winding path, as so many people have taken. It's a winding path to get where we are meant to be sometimes, definitely. Now, when you say RCAM, we're, of course, talking about the Regional Center for Advanced Manufacturing in Kingsport, which was really kind of the home base over there for a lot of technical education operations for our Kingsport campus and a lot of things happening over there. By the way, manufacturingfuture.net, that's the RCAM's website in case you want to go check out and see what they've got, manufacturingfuture.net. Now, obviously, we talked about COVID a moment ago and what kind of challenges that's presented to a lot of training workers, a lot in the technical education field, because there's some things you simply can't translate to a Zoom classroom. How's the faculty there at RCAM? What kind of steps have they taken to get students instructed, taught safely during this time, and what are some of the kind of the innovative, inventive ways they've come up with still delivering the curriculum?
Well, there have been several things that we've had to do. I'll give you an example. In our study center, we used to be able to test 22 people at once, and it was kind of come whenever you were ready to be proctored. And one of the first things we figured out that we weren't going to be able to allow that many people in that room, and
Right.
just one of the innovative things there at RCAM the team came up with was a new register blast system to where the students could register to come in and study and test, so we could kind of keep track of that and ensure that we would be able to socially distance there. We've had to reduce the number of apprentices in our labs. You know, our labs are very small anyway. It's a 1-to-4 instructor to student ratio. So now we're down to a 1-to-2.
Wow, nice.
That has increased the number of labs, which has been difficult for scheduling at RCAM, but they've made it work. Just unbelievable team there. But those are some of the things that we've incorporated.
Isn't that kind of, and I guess maybe one of the inspirations for people to get into technical education, they always seem to be able to find answers, and the faculty over there really seem to be able to find the answers through all this. I know when the mask printing, Keith Bowery started doing the mask printing from our 3D printers over there very early in March of last year, that the faculty just seemed to find the answers to make it happen over there. Is that just kind of something that technical people do as far as their own creativity that you found?
I think so. I mean, that's the beauty of those type of things. You know, when you're in the maintenance world, you always find yourself troubleshooting and trying to find better ways to do things, easier ways at times. And of course, in manufacturing, most anyone that's been in manufacturing now, you're leaning into that lean manufacturing and continuous improvement. So I think that's just kind of the nature of those folks.
No, the workforce has certainly undergone some changes as well. What do you hope to see Northeast State do, both here at the Blunteville campus at our tech building that we're in, and also at RCAM, as far as equipping the workforce for the next 5-10 years down the road? And of course, when I say that, so many people have been displaced from jobs, careers have been lost. Everybody has to kind of reset. What do you hope to see us do from the technical education perspective here in the next few years to make this workforce alive again? Well,
I think number one is to ensure that our facilities are utilized to their fullest capacity. You know, we still have some capacity at the RCAM Academy. I think we can do that through a stronger dual enrollment program. We were on a great path when COVID hit, and just kind of seemed to tank for a little while. But I think number one is getting these students engaged earlier, and finding quicker ways. You know, education takes time, there's no doubt, but ensuring that we are being innovative, much like the 4 years are with that you see in the accelerated bachelor programs, that we are being just as innovative in training folks as they are.
Okay. Do you know roughly how many students we've had on ground in labs at RCAM for the fall semester and through spring semester so far, just roughly?
Approximately, I think in the fall we had around 700.
Okay.
And then this semester is not a lot different. It's about 730, 735, something like that.
Oh, so
we've held consistent. That those numbers are apprentice. The majority are apprentice numbers right now, a little over half. And of course, those are not there every day. It's a rotation. So, but that's currently the number that we are serving.
Yeah, speaking of innovation and apprentices, a few years back, Northeast State went into, with cooperation from the United States Department of Labor, established an apprenticeship program, which has really been a model for a lot of people. A lot of people have taken notices of this apprenticeship program. Talk a little bit about, if you can, how that started and how that's been followed through in these last 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Well, for many years, of course, that apprenticeship registration with the DOL came prior to me coming to RCAM, and through some very innovative folks that were there before me. That came about because for many years, when RCAM started, they would host a lot of smaller companies and show the capabilities that RCAM had and Northeast State had, and talk about apprenticeship programs. And they would come talk to these HR managers, and they would be really wide-eyed and surprised of what we offered, and we would never hear from them again.
Oh.
So what we noticed is a lot of HR managers at these smaller companies, they wear a lot of different hats. Mm-hmm. You know, they're hiring, they're doing training, they're doing safety, and basically it come down to, we realized they couldn't manage an apprenticeship program. So what we did as the first community college to register an apprenticeship in Tennessee, what that did was bring scale to, and allow the companies with 50 employees to send one apprentice, and so that's what that's done for us, and it's been really good for the region. We have several smaller companies that are sending 1 and 2 apprentices now, so that scale has allowed us to expand the apprenticeship model.
The apprentice, I guess you go back even into the Middle Age times, and people think about apprentices to various skills and trades, and a lot of the guilds, I guess you could call, of very skilled workers. Let me ask you this question first. Why should creative people think about technical education and think about these type of very skilled jobs? And I say that about welding, machining, even types of chemical process operations. All these skills require a certain finesse and a certain eye for what you're doing. Why should creative people think about this and look at it as really an art form, I guess?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Tom, and I often talk about this, and I'll give you an example. I say this oftentimes. I think we'd have far fewer starving artists if we were able to paint a picture and a pathway for skilled trades to these folks. Mm-hmm. But I think about let's say CAD, computer-aided drafting or machining, and these kids in schools that we identify early that they are very creative and very artistic, but we fail to show them that pathway, I think, of how their skill could be used in the trades, especially in the design trades and things like that. So, it's very important that we engage those folks, because their ability to create and to think creatively is one of the largest skills I think we're missing in the workforce today.
Oh, definitely. Now, how about as far as reaching kids early on? Do dual enrollment students come to RCAM, and do we have? I'm pretty sure we have a dual enrollment pipeline for students coming to RCAM right now. Do we not?
We do. We actually have a welding class with Dobbins Bennett currently. We have had machining and welding. A couple summer before last, we had our first summer dual enrollment welding. We had 13 students that were at RCAM for 8 weeks, 3 days a week, 8 hours a day, 2 females. They finished the summer with 8 hours of credit in welding.
Nice.
It's almost unheard of. I tell this story as well. It was Dr. Rao's idea, he and Dr. Shadden. And when they told me about it, I thought, well, this may or may not work. And, the morning of the class, to start, the students actually showed up before the instructor. And the last day of the summer, at 5 o'clock, we had to make them leave.
That's what you want to see. Yes.
So kids are hungry for it. We just got to create the pathways.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, is with the way the society in general is kind of in flux right now, how do you see the workforce developing in our region? And this goes back to a question we asked a little bit earlier. How do you see the workforce developing over the next few years in terms of new skill sets needed? A lot of people are moving to Tennessee. It's certainly a state that people want to be in. How do we address the need to kind of meet demands for certain jobs and certain skill sets that maybe they exist in some states, they don't necessarily exist here? But how do you see us kind of making it possible for people moving to Tennessee to find those skill sets and find those careers?
I think some of the things that I see here, regionally, we're leaning into tourism there, but another big leg when you think about economic development is entrepreneurship.
Right. Yeah. True.
And we are seeing the region working really hard to be more friendly towards startups, major tech startups. There's a lot of things going on with SyncSpace in the area. So I think we really need to ensure that we have models to help the entrepreneur understand business. Then going back, and as we look at these displaced workers, I mean, we're actually seeing people that are displaced from manufacturing that are looking to become entrepreneurs. People that are looking for remote work because they have children at home. So I think that's going to give an increase in the need for IT skills. So right. Those are some of the things that I think we need to look at as we look to serve the people of the community.
Right. Now, how much do you all work with our Career and Workforce Development Center here at Northeast State? I know Jennifer Kendrick and Julie Murray, they do a terrific job with the services they provide. How much do you all work with them as far as maybe finding people some new career paths through RCAM or even other technical education jobs that those workers are looking for?
Almost daily. So, we're in conversation about companies and they're interviewing students and providing these virtual employer spotlights monthly. Julie Murray actually sits on the Advanced Manufacturing Partnership. The Advanced Manufacturing Partnership, what that is it's kind of how RCAM has been guided over the 10 years. Mm-hmm. We meet there once a month with local manufacturers that's on the partnership, Eastman and Domtar, Silk Enclosures. Kingsport Chamber is there. The Director for Economic and Community Development for the state of Tennessee is there. We meet there monthly. We talk about what's going on in the region. We talk about what's needed. We talk about what we're doing. How can we improve? So, yeah, we're really engaged with our career and workforce development and the great work that they're doing there.
Cool. I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball. This is a little bit of a personal question. Most of us here at Northeast State know this, but your kids are very, very talented musicians, and we've got the pleasure to hear them a few times in Zoom meetings, and I know. But talk a little bit about how they got into music and some of the things they're doing, because that's a really interesting story.
Well, my daughter got into music really from my mom. My daughter's been singing since she was 2, I think.
Oh, wow!
So that we started lessons with her probably when she was 6 for voice lessons, and then I did something with my kids. Some people may not agree with, but I required them to play an instrument at least through middle school. Mm-hmm. Any instrument, whatever they want. My daughter, she's been through numerous instruments, and my son kind of settled on guitar. And, and I told him, I said, if after middle school, if you don't want to play, you don't have to, but it's just kind of a requirement.
Right.
Fortunately, it took off, and they've been connected with some great friends that enjoy music. And one of my daughter's friends and so they started a band locally and had some good success there. But I'm not sure that they got a lot of talent from me. But they do really well, and I enjoy listening to them.
Is it just something the passion just took hold and they just love to do it?
It just took hold. Whenever we worked, I always worked to get good teachers for them, not people only that could teach them theory, but could inspire them.
Right.
And we think about education. That's what we're looking for is teachers that can inspire people to learn, and that's what I've been able to do with them.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, we've had the pleasure to hear him a few times. Hopefully, we can get some live shows out there when we get back to normal here. We can go see them live. A few places would be great.
Yeah, they had COVID was a big one for them because they already had a spot at a store for Rhythm and Roots, which was canceled.
Yes,
They had some huge opportunities coming in, so it just kind of tailed off. But same for everyone. But I'm sure it'll come back.
Yeah, I think Rhythm and Roots, I believe, is on this year. They're going to try to have it this year.
It is on.
Let's fingers crossed.
Tickets.
Yes, it's such a great thing for this area. I just hope it can happen this year. Okay, Heath, it's now time for the 3-question challenge. Are you ready to take this on?
I think I am.
Most guests can get it. Some stumbles, but most have got it all right. You ready to take on the 3-question speed challenge?
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1: ham and cheese or BLT?
Ham and cheese.
Ham and cheese. Okay. All right. Why? Just not a bacon fan?
I don't like tomato.
Oh, don't like tomato. Oh, well, okay. Not growing them or anything, because you've got to grow tomatoes in spring and summer around here. That's just a requirement for the South.
I don't. I just bought a farm actually, but I don't have any plans for tomatoes.
Oh well, hey. Question number 2: Iron Man or Captain America?
Captain America.
Captain America, really?
Yeah.
Why so?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
I thought Iron Man. I thought, Tony Stark got the tech going, flying.
I never watched either one of them really when growing up.
Captain America. Well, a solid choice.
Yeah.
People love Captain America. People love the Captain. Question number 3, and this is very timely. Falcon 9 or Mars Rover?
I'm going to say Mars Rover.
Mars Rover.
Mars Rover.
Yeah, Perseverance is up there on Mars right now, sending back the photos. So it's another great success.
Right.
Very impressive. Okay, Mars Rover it is. And I think those are our 3 questions. And you did have answered them with flying colors. So very well done. But Heath, this is, I suppose we've come to the end of this particular episode. Thank you for joining us here on the Sound Bearier. We appreciate it a lot. We know it's fine work by you and the whole RCAM staff over there, and from Cindy to Ron Broadwater and Joe and Starling and everybody. The whole team over there does a phenomenal job, and it's greatly appreciated by everybody.
Yeah. The team, I couldn't do it without them. Couldn't say enough good things about the team. And Tom, thank you for having me. Thank you for the work that you're doing to get it out. The team that the communications, or the things the communications team are doing here, the marketing team. That's what it's all about. We can do a lot of great things, but if people don't know about it, not going to do a lot with it.
We're trying. We keep pushing out there so people can know about it, and like we talked about earlier, get people interested, get people excited, from artists to technicians to displaced workers. Everybody come give Northeast State a look, and that's what we keep trying to do. Anyway, Heath, again, thank you all the way. By the way, again, manufacturingfuture.net. That is the RCAM website. Go check it out and see what they're doing. Manufacturingfuture.net. You can see the RCAM, the many opportunities that are open out there to see. And, of course, thank you, as always, to the Entertainment Technology Department here at Northeast State, Professor Will McMillian and his fine band of students, always taking care of us and getting these episodes recorded here in the Entertainment Technology Studio. Thank you all so much. But again, that brings us to the end of this episode of The Sound Bearier. Hit us up there at thesoundbearier.net. That's thesoundbearier.net. Smash that old subscribe button. You can get us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, Overcast, even on YouTube if you want to. Any of your favorite podcast stations, you can just hit that subscribe button and hear episodes like this and some of our older episodes anytime. And again, soundbearier.net. Also, northeaststate.edu. That's the official website of Northeast State Community College. And by the end of March, we're going to be enrolling for summer and fall classes. So, hey, keep that website in mind also, northeaststate.edu. Check us out here. And until next time, fellow Bears, we'll see you then.